Hello, everybody. First it's damn happy hour, yay! But I'm actually surprised the music's still playing because I'm playing it on Pandora from my phone. So I figured when I started the video, it would shut off, but it did not. So that's interesting. Anyway, it's time for a new mandala. So this is yesterday's. Let me switch over. Okay, fresh piece of paper. Beer, yes, it is happy hour. Pen, yes. We're using, let me see, I'm going to use a 08 today. And, we'll just do a quick. So there are many different sizes of these pens. So if you want to ever get a set, you can, get different sizes and use them for different, just to have different line thicknesses in your mandalas. So 005 is very, very fine. Can you even see that? It's so tiny. Very, very fine lines. Let's see. Let's make some lines up here. And then these are just a few. There's in-betweens. There's a 03 and a 01, and I don't know. So this one is a 02, so a little bit thicker than the 005. This one's a 05. This is the one that I usually use. It's a nice medium line. And this is the 08, so much thicker line. So anyway, maybe I'll do my basic outline with the 08, and then we'll take our really fine one to make our decorations inside today. So let's get started. I am going to start, let's put our dot in the middle so we don't have blank page syndrome going on. And then I am actually going to make just some concentric circles going around to start. And you can see, like me, these circles are not going to be perfect. It is impossible to draw a perfect circle by hand, but we're not concerned with that. We're just wanting a circular shape going around the middle. And then let's do some kind of petals going around. We almost have a sun shape going on here. And hopefully some of you are drawing a mandala with me. If not, run get a pen and paper. It can be anything, even like newspaper or a napkin or whatever. And just a ballpoint pen is fine. And then follow along exactly, or just kind of, do a little bit of your own thing, whatever you would like. And so let's make our kind of little backdrop circle here. Now remember, just think about drawing like a little bit of a curved line in between each of the petals, just at the top. I'm not even really curving mine too much, because there's so little space in between here. And again, remember to turn your paper. I don't all the time because it's a little bit of a hassle with the camera, but doing these is definitely easier. Hello, Olivia. How are you? And but turning your paper will also help your wrist. It gets these tendons will really suffer if you're just constantly kind of doing this. Plus, it will help your lines look smoother and nicer and more even. So let's try to follow this outline and make another circle going around. Just, we'll go from very tip to tip of these flower petals. Just to have another starting point, and then we'll do another one outside of that. That will be a little bit freehand, but I think we can do it. And remember, still keep mindful of your lines. Think about, starting your line, making a line, stopping your line. It obviously doesn't need to be in slow motion, and you do not need to say it out loud unless it helps. But just being conscious of your lines that you're making helps this be a very mindful exercise. Hello, Rebecca. And okay, so now we're going to attempt to do an outside circle. This one's not touching anything, so it's a little bit trickier. So we're just going to really follow this outside line that we have as much as we can. It's not going to be perfect. We don't care. We're not going for perfect. Okay, so we can also just, break it into segments again and just kind of pretend that there's something there that you're going in between. And just, eyeball kind of this, equal distance around the outside circle that you already have there. There we go. And let's see. I am going to go ahead and make another one. I guess I'm feeling very circly today. So we'll stretch these a little bit more. Get those strokes around there. This is really good exercise for like keeping your lines steady. And also in just the, showing that you can go just like a little step at a time and have a pretty decent circle showing up. And so let's see. Let's put, I'm going to kind of space out some shapes. So when we do that, if we want to space out shapes a little bit, we will go like side to side, kind of. If that makes any sense, I'll show you what I'm saying. So we'll make a little bit of shape, and I want just like a little petal shape there. And then we'll do opposites. So I'll turn it around and do just the opposite. And then we'll do halfway in between those. And just do it this way so it's easy to eyeball spacing it out, and we don't have to like do any guidelines or measurements or anything like that. And since we're not trying to be perfect, it's all good. So now I'm actually going to go halfway in between each of these. So when you do it like this, it's much easier to space things out equally instead of just trying to like kind of go one after the other and get them all equally spaced. It's very difficult to do it that way. So we're all about making things easy and without having to do any real planning or use guidelines or anything like that. So let's see, in between those, let's put some circles. So we're just going to put some circles in between each one. And these are easier because you can just go right in between each of these shapes that we already have. Yep. Very cool. And so let's see, let's do like a shape from, or like maybe just kind of outlining our circle a little bit here. So making just like a little secondary kind of petal behind those circles. Again, we're just doing like half circle or kind of like a C shape, right? If we're drawing a C, it's just the C shape. or 1/2 of a capital D. And again, I'm bringing back my reference to, hello, Renina, to if you can write the alphabet, you can draw a mandala. So I just kind of bring those shapes together. The different shapes make different things. Of course, this petal shape is not exactly an alphabet shape, but, sometimes it doesn't work out perfectly. But like these shapes are like a capital A. If you put a line in the middle, you'd have an A. You have all these are O's, or, half of P's and D's and P's and all those. So yeah, anyway, let's see. All right, I'm going to make another layer of this shape. So I'm just kind of repeating this shape here. And I'm getting a little bit more kind of complicated in my design than normal. I know some of you have been watching for a while, and so I kind of like to sometimes go the little, intermediate level instead of keeping it always at like sort of very beginner, just to show you what all you can do, because these are still on the simple side compared to what you can really do once you get into it, once you get practicing and get kind of that hand-eye coordination going and start feeling more inspired and putting shapes together. Okay, let's open it up a little bit here. So we're going to make my favorite shape, which is, what's my favorite shape? If any of you been paying attention? The Hershey's Kiss shape. Yep, just like that. Again, this is a complicated shape. It won't come out perfect. Even mine come out wonky. That's okay. It's part of their charm. Because we're not making Hershey's Kisses. We're making shapes that, a little bit resemble a Hershey's Kiss. And when I was saying I want to open it up, just because it just looks more like sort of aesthetically pleasing when you kind of vary the spacing or the white space inside. So this is all kind of tight in here, so we'll open it up a little bit. And so it almost like gives your eye a break. Sometimes when designs are too tight and too complicated, it's like, almost work to look at. So we want the viewer to have a pleasant experience when they're looking at our pieces, or yourself, because, you don't need to share these with anybody, but looking at it yourself, you still want to, to feel enjoyment and, when you're looking at it, after it's completed. So using just these kind of little design things, tips and tricks is nice going forward. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a drink of my beer. What all time zones are we in? Who's on different time zones? Everybody should be. Well, California will be 2 hours earlier, so it'll be only like 3. Still, 3 o'clock is the beginning of happy hour, so we're all good. What would Hawaii be? I think they're the only ones. I don't know, at what point does it become tomorrow instead of this morning? I don't know. Because I know Australia is already going on, probably starting tomorrow morning. It's very confusing. Okay, so let's see. Let's make some more like semicircle shapes going around these. So we're just starting at, like a third way in these shapes and just kind of curving around without being worried of them being, all exactly the same height or whatever. And I am turning my paper on these larger shapes. It's just better for my wrist and easier. And I'm trying not to spin too fast. I know sometimes when you do these things and you spin the paper too fast, you almost get like a little bit seasick going on. Hello, Barbara. And okay, so let's see. So we have this shape next. Let's double up this shape. I feel like we need a double line here. So we're just going to make that line double. And wait, let me check the time. Okay, 5:46. I have my neighborhood sing-along I need to get to, and I record that live. That starts at 6, so I gotta wrap things up in time to get down to the corner. And so this might be a smaller mandala. When you start getting, a little bit more complicated mandalas, they do tend to start taking a little bit more time. But that's okay. You can, if you're following along with me, you can always go and expand on it later. But I did want to use my very fine pen and put in some details. So again, this is my 005, which is very, very, very fine. And we'll put in some details. So let's put in some lines going around this kind of border circle here, but instead of going straight in, I'm going to draw them kind of at a slant. Can you see that? It's very fine, but that will almost make it look like a rope or something. So I'm just kind of putting these lines in, but at an angle going around, still kind of equidistance, just like as if I was making them straight down, but I'm putting them at a slant instead. And again, just reminding to keep very mindful of your strokes. I start, I draw my stroke, I end. Right? Okay, so we have that going on. Let's see, what else can we do? We're just gonna make some little, I want to have these just kind of be like little petals. So I'm just gonna make some little like kind of, I don't even know what this would be called, like little almost fold lines or something, like the inside of a flower petal. And these, you still keep mindful of them. You just have a start and you draw and then you lift. So instead of having a stopping point, you have a lifting point. And that will kind of give that feathered edge at the end a little bit, so which makes it look much more kind of organic and botanical. So let's see. Let's add some let's add a smaller petal inside of this larger one. Okay, so we're going to, and I'm just going to do a couple of them so you can see what I'm doing. And then I will just take and kind of make little lines coming out from them. So can you see that? It's getting fairly small in there. But having this pen, this much finer pen, it allows you to get a lot more like tiny detail in than you can with a thicker pen, which can be really nice. Yeah. So then let's see. Let's actually see if we can maybe take some, I'm going to put some small petals around these circles. Yeah? Just have some extra little detail around them. And then let's see, what can we do in the middle? Let's put some kind of crisscross So we'll draw lines across one direction and then we draw them the opposite direction. So just like making, you know, little, like almost like tic-tac-toe lines. And that will just kind of give some texture inside of those little flower shapes. Yeah? And what time? Okay, I got about 4 more minutes. And so let's see. Let's take and let's put a repeated shape on the inside of these. Just fill in this space a little bit. And then let's actually put a circle at the top. And then let's put some smaller circles down the sides. So we'll just fill this space with those smaller circles. And we could fill those in. It might look nicer filled in. Feels like it needs a little more weight inside of there. Sometimes circles can feel a little empty. And so filling them in, yeah, see, that's much better, how it gives it that kind of little chonky weight going on. It looks a little bit more significant. So that's nicer, just visually nicer. And let's see, what else can we do? We can, let's make some little semicircle shapes going in here. And, oh, you know what? Then we can make larger petals going up. So I'm going to be just making like these type of petals just going around. So it's almost like, you know, sunflower petals or something. There we go. Nice. Let me check the time. 5:53. Okay, I need to start wrapping up. And did anybody have any questions on anything? Again, it was a much smaller mandala day just because we're going into a little bit more detail and having a little bit more complicated shapes. And I just thought that would be fun for those of you who have, you know, watched a few of them and wanted to see something new and different. And just how kind of, you know, more complex you can get and make them. Yeah, so I think I'll finish up. I'm not sure what else I can do quickly. So yeah, feel free to finish up yours and post them. You can post a picture of them in the comments here, or if you share them on your page, just tag me. I'd love to see them. I love seeing everybody's all different mandalas. And please share this video or share my event page. I would love to, you know, have everybody have access to, you know, being able to watch these, to, you know, draw mandalas of their own, have a little meditative and mindfulness time, or just watch drawing videos. Watching drawing videos is very relaxing in itself. And so yeah, so that is it. I am off for today. I will see you tomorrow. And yeah, bye-bye.